me if Santa could bring you a gift to some kind of subscription related to genealogy, what would it be? Now, some people would say ancestry.com. I would say, for me, I would like to try out Genealogy Bank this next year. So I've been playing around with newspapers.com, and I did promise I'm going to do some videos about that. I think it's going to happen 1st of 2019. But now that I've played with newspapers.com, which is subscription, and I played with Chronicling America, which is free, I want to give Genealogy Bank a try. So what other subscription sites do you guys wish that Genealogy Santa would bring you? Put it in the comments. What subscriptions would you want? I know.
I'm trying to think of what subscriptions I want.
So what subscription do you have? Maybe others might want to have those.
So I have an account with Ancestry, with My Heritage.
Mm-hmm.
I think with American Ancestors also.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, that's the New England one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Well, I have the GEDmatch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking now, I'd started on DNA Painter before they added the subscription service. So I already had like a dozen of different painting profiles set up. But I may actually do a subscription for that just to add some more. Most of the subscription stuff, I actually, like Fold 3 or things like that, I actually wait till I have a bunch of stuff. And then I'll go to one of the LDS family history centers or a library and just use that, because it's most of the time it's stuff that I can do within 3 or 4 hours of research after I've gathered enough, and then I'm done for another 6 months or a year.
Yep, and you also have Find My Past for your England ancestors.
Yeah, Find My Past also.
That's a good one too. So what do you guys think? Do you have those? Do you wish you had those?
So Cosmic Slices, I like to do 23andMe, but I think Ancestry makes more sense to start with. I would agree.
With DNA?
With DNA, just because you have that extra trees and records that Ancestry has that you're never going to get from 23andMe. Lily says, I would love DNA Painter. Okay. Yep. Now, with DNA Painter, you can sign up for a free, and it gives you one painting thing. So if you wanted to do the painting of yourself to be able to paint some ancestors, you can do that. It's if you want to do more than that you need to pay for it. Marcelia says that she has Ancestry, so she would want to go now to 23andMe and do that.
Very good.
Lily says a year of Ancestry World.
Yeah. So Ancestry World would be really good. So Lily, who do you want to research in Ancestry World? Right now, I want them to have more German evangelical Lutheran records in Germany, and then that would be very, very beneficial to me. So who are you looking at in Ancestry World?
And maybe we can ask Alessandro, since you're on here, for Italy. Is there any subscription site that you know of that either focuses on Italian records or has the best set of Italian records? I know that you can find some Italian records in lots of different sites. But from what you know, for those who have ancestors in Italy, what subscription sites would you recommend for Italian records?
Yeah.
Let's see what else we have.
I like Waltz. We were talking about DNA. We're going to be getting to, Genealogy Santa.
I have
DNA.
a present for you later, yes.
Okay. All right. Let the comments come in. So we're going to also talk about tools. Like, what kind of tools do you use for genealogy? So for me, I use Roots Magic. And we have met Bruce and Michael, who are the programmers. And, they're the men behind this software. They have other people involved, too. They're working on Roots Magic 8. And they don't have a release date yet. And they won't tell you their release date until they have their release date in a press release, because it's ready to go. But they said that there are going to be some really great things coming in Roots Magic 8. But again, they won't tell us what it is. I'm hoping that it will be able to share information to My Heritage to simplify that. Because they've already done Ancestry. They work with family search, I would like to see them work with MyHeritage and stuff like that. So that's a tool that I want. As soon as they come out with Roots Magic 8, I will be upgrading. So what other tools do you guys use in genealogy that you wish Genealogy Santa would bring you?
Well,
I mean, Andy's going to give you one, so hold on.
Yeah.
But
I was going to say, as far as tools, I mean, it's not that you need it now. It's you're going to get it no matter what. Is the auto hinting that all of the websites do, whether it's the shaky leaves or smart matches, I think is what MyHeritage calls it, and the blue icons on family search.
And you can get hints. If you have Roots Magic, you can get hints to find my past. And then you click on that link and it will give you to a hints page. But I don't know that you can get to a Find My Past hints page yet. They're kind of working on a tree, but I haven't seen it work more fully. If some of you use Find My Past family trees, let me know. But I just haven't seen that. The only way I can get the hinting is through Roots Magic.
I thought, now this is a free tool actually, if you want to go and look for it. So I was looking a while back for a plat mapper. So whenever you have a land record that it says, hey, this is 500 chains this way and 36 chains this way, and at this rock you turn south or whatever. And, when you're reading that, you have no clue what they're saying.
Absolutely. That's the meets and bounds.
The meets and bounds. And so I went looking for a plat mapper, and I found a plat mapper. And I think it's called Plat Plotter.
Okay.
I'll have to go and find it again. But it was great because all you do is you add in the meets and bounds, and it plots it out for you. And so then if you know where in a town or whatever it starts at, then you just put that corner right at the start, and you can actually see where that property is.
That's pretty cool.
In a town. It's great.
That's pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Does it work with the other form that came out? What is it? So you have the meets and bounds, and then you have the other one?
No. Because the other one is all based on that grid marker thing. So you just have to know, the northwest corner of the southwest segment of whatever.
Okay. So I was just looking at land records. I'm new to land records because I finally have ancestors in land records or a project that goes in the land records. But it would say start at the southwest corner of lot 42, go west 32 rods. That's not meets and bounds, is it?
No. Well, yeah. Yeah, because if you're talking about going distances, rods and stuff, unless they've divided up one of their I can't remember what that's called.
Partitions
their
or
partitions
plots
or something.
or whatever.
But yeah. So Alessandro answered us on
okay, great.
on the
Italian
stuff. He says the Antenati portal.
Okay.
The Antenati portal to enhance your Italian genealogy. No subscription is needed.
Oh, nice.
So, hey, if you have some Italian ancestors out there, check out the Antenati portal. And Alessandro, if you want to put the website in the chat, that would be great.
Awesome.
Now,
so there's some other comments here. We'll grab them.
Walt says Roots Magic is a must for tools. Yep. And the CM project.
Okay.
That's another great tool. I believe you're talking about Blaine Bettinger's shared CM project. That he has a nice map of everything of how much DNA is shared with different people. So let's go on to what DNA would you like Santa to bring you?
I know you guys have already been talking about different DNA. So who would you like to have tested? If you could test anybody, who would you like to have tested? I don't really have...
Is this dead or alive since it's Santa?
It is kind of dead or alive, huh? We should start singing. Anyway.
That's for the MyHeritage party.
MyHeritage party, absolutely. No, you've been sending out kicks, so who are you hoping Santa will bring it by mail for you this year?
I have a couple of my aunts and uncles that we're getting some for, and that is so that I already have my grandparents done, but with my aunts and uncles, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to use some visual phasing to identify certain segments of it that are my great-grandparents.
Oh, very cool.
So those people, passed away decades ago, and we're basically going to be able to help recreate some of their DNA.
That'd be awesome. You're very fortunate you have a humongous family. Mine's like
not
kind of
as big as some of the other people.
Well, yes, but compared to mine,
we're like scratching our noses, scratching
I
our
know,
chins
guys.
all
Sorry.
over. It's okay.
I think it's a nervous thing, but anyway. So, who else would you like to have? Who do you want to have tested this year, or what DNA puzzles do you want to have solved? You can go ahead and put it down. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one. And then others. So I made a note. So others can be things like my other. I would love Genealogy Santa to go into my cousin's garage and get me everything that my grandparents have in her garage, including another box of photos. So I love my cousin. It's actually my dad's cousin, so I don't know what you call my dad's cousin. But in any case,
first cousin once removed.
There you go. See, he knows the chart. I just call her a cousin, but she keeps calling me up, and then it'll be a couple of years before I get it. I really wish that we could speed up this process, but Genealogy Santa granted my wish from at least 2 years ago, if not last year, and that is to go to Ohio and speak at the Ohio State Genealogy Conference. And I'm gonna go see her. So maybe I can go into her garage and like say, okay, what belonged to my grandparents?
Give me my stuff.
Give me my stuff. Take me to FedEx. We're shipping it home. You know, but if I could have it under the tree this year, that'd be great. So what about you? Who has some stuff that you're just like, if they would just give it to me, it would be fantastic.
So we have some people that, as far as their testing of who they want. Lily says she got a couple of uncles and aunts that are still alive.
Oh,
excellent.
Awesome.
Cosmic Slice says, I need to start with myself.
Well, get at it.
And go buy yourself a kit.
They've been on sale. Remember, what did we say, Waltz? We said Ancestry, and then switch it to 23andMe, and then buy 23andMe, and then GEDmatch. That's what Walt said.
Yes, that is. And that's always good. Yeah, I would buy the Ancestry and then buy the 23andMe, because you can transfer the Ancestry to other sites. And you can't transfer any kits into Ancestry or 23andMe. So the only way to get in those two databases, which are the largest, is you have to test with them.
Yeah. Okay, who else?
All right. So Marcelia says, I'm testing my grandmothers now.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Great. No, that's it. Okay.
And then Manopar is my second great aunt who is still living. That's like a grandmother type thing. No, that's like more than a grandmother. A second great aunt?
Yeah, that would be a great grandmother sibling.
Great grandmother sibling? Wow.
That'd be cool. Let me know if we have that right. But that's cool.
That's some old DNA.
Awesome. Okay, so others. Do you have any other things that you would like that people are holding on to that you want? Or, I mean, it could be anything. It could be preservation tools, like a scanner of some kind.
Oh, I'll tell you what I would like. I would like a digital handwriting reader. You know, a scanner that scans handwriting and...
So like an OCR?
An OCR for handwriting.
Argus Search was a member of the Roots Tech Innovative Showdown, and I think they got second place. They really should have gotten first. But they are working on the technology. You would like to just have it now.
I like that. That would be awesome.
That would be kind
of
cool.
That would save having to try to figure out what so many things are.
Uh-huh.
And if people would just write clear 100 years ago, that would be nice too.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about professionally. I don't know if any of you guys are professional genealogists out there. I know Alessandro. So what do you want, Alessandro? Probably more clients. We would like... I would like one thing.
Oh, just real quick, since you mentioned Alessandro. Alessandro, for those of you who are watching, is giving a 20% discount on all of the services.
Nice.
So if you are needing some Italian research, if you are wanting to take a trip over to Italy to see some of your family's homeland and you need some help organizing that.
And then dual citizenship?
Dual citizenship, I think he does.
Correct us on that.
Yeah, correct us if you
But he's got quite a few services.
He's got a lot of services, so check out his website, bellaitaliagenealogy.com.
Awesome. We like Alessandro. Sandra?
Alessandro.
Joe. I was right the first time. Sorry.
He was actually one of our first interviews at Roots Tech 2 years ago. This was back when our channel had like 50 views.
60 members.
Was it 60? I didn't think we had that many.
60 subscribers, and now we're at 8,000 plus. It's awesome. Because of you guys. You guys are awesome. We love
all because of Alessandro. If it wasn't for him, then
I'm just saying. I'm just
He
saying.
got at least, a few hundred of those. So
yeah, he did. His video is pretty popular.
And I know, because his video was one that we like messed up. So we had like one version of it that I can't remember if it was the sound was off or something like that. And so then we had to upload another version. But that first version had like 150 views before we got to upload the second version. I remember that.
It was hilarious. So professionally, one of the things, if you go look around our YouTube channel, you're going to find that Andy almost always looked great on camera. Me, on the other hand, I can't get it right. The lighting isn't always right because of the reflectivity of makeup and I don't know, all the other stuff. So I have looked and there is a ring light. A ring light, it's a beauty light. So it'll make me prettier. Consistently. Because I sometimes film when he's not around. And so that would be really great professionally. What do you think?
I just look good.
I know. It's pride. I just look good. And then the other thing that professionally would be really, really great. So I'm a little bit jealous of you.
Why?
Well, there are so many people in our Family History Fanatics community that engage with you on all of your videos on DNA. So I'm a little jealous.
This is also the people that tell me I'm wrong all the time, too.
That's true. But I would love to have more engagement on the non-DNA videos. Like whenever you see my face on the thumbnail and you leave a comment, I mean, I guess you get the good and the bad when you get that. But anyway, he gets to have so much more fun with you guys because you go in and you comment on his videos. So, yeah, that's what I would like. I would like more engagement on my videos so I can have some fun with people in the community.
Well, good. I hope you get that.
I hope Santa brings me some more engagement. Anyway. But I don't know. Some of you might have other things that you want. If you have a genealogy service, promote it. Go drop a link. We'll give you a shout out. Okay.
Sorry, free advertising. We're offering free advertising on our live stream.
There you go. Absolutely. And, you can do it when you come back. Now, it has to be somewhat genealogy related.
That's right.
It can't be to some of the chess pawns videos.
Yeah, for those of you who watched our live stream 2 weeks ago, if you didn't, go watch it. You're missing out.
Lots of giggles. Okay, so the next thing I would like to talk about is what Genealogy Santa is. What record collections have you guys been wishing would come online? And the ones that I wish would come online, I've been saying I want more Franklin County, Ohio records to come online because that's where a lot of my ancestors are from, Franklin County and Huron County. And I'm impressed how many records are now online. Now, they're not always indexed and searchable, but they're there, which is great. So the next collection that I want to have online, there you go, scratching your nose, is church records. Church records from Franklin County, Ohio, the evangelical church records as well as the Catholic church records. That's what I think is going to be my next big, breakthrough because I had poor ancestors, but they went to church. And so I would like to be able to search church records from Franklin County, Ohio. So if you work with Ancestry or Family Search or Find My Heritage, if you could go to Ohio and you can start with Franklin County and then you can go to Licking County and then you can go to Huron and then you can worry about the rest of Ohio. If you get the church record, that'd be great. So what about you? What records, where do you search and what records do you want? Let us know in the chat. This isn't all about me. What about you? Where do you research and wish there were a little more records online for you?
A little more records online.
Or do you think Santa Claus brought you some really great records?
Well, he always has, because I try to focus to online stuff, and so he doesn't have to bring them because they're already there.
Oh, you're so spoiled.
Well, I'm not spoiled. I just don't have time to do anything else. So it's only online stuff that I can look at.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we've got some more Ohio folks. Okay, so Ross County and Monroe County. Okay. We'll include you guys as well.
Ohio's just stingy, huh?
I wouldn't say stingy, but there's a lot of, I don't know. The more that I research, the more I bump into people from Ohio. But I think I was watching a video by Peggy Laritzen that she did on Legacy Tree webinars, and that's another subscription some of you might want to get.
I think they have a sale going on right now for Christmas too.
Sweet.
I'm not sure, but
check.
I think
so Peggy Laritzen was talking about in the, let's say 1812, when people talked about going west, it wasn't towards the Mississippi River, and it wasn't across the Mississippi River. It was actually up to Ohio and a little bit to their rivals, Michigan. And so that's why there are, and the more I bump into people in genealogy, they're like, oh yeah, I got ancestors in Ohio.
Because that's where going west was Ohio.
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't have any ancestors from Ohio as far as I know, so I missed out on that migration.
All right. And Cosmic Slice and Lily, they want to have more cemetery records online. Okay, so which cemeteries do you need? Because Find a Grave and Billion Graves do a decent job, but what cemeteries of yours are not online that you want about? Because maybe we can tell people to go there.
That's true.
I know, right? All right, what's next? Because Andy has a gift for you. How about travel? Where would you like to travel for genealogy?
Hawaii.
Oh, you do not have relatives in Hawaii.
I never said I had relatives. I could go back to Taiwan. That would be good.
I would do Taiwan.
Too.
Taiwan has amazing beaches and modest beaches. I like that part.
And no genealogy for you there, though.
No, but I have an aunt to my children. Her name's Teresa. Aunt Teresa. I want to go see her.
Do genealogy there, yeah.
There you go. There you go. So for me, I want to go to Gillersheim, Germany. And I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it's in Hanover. And that is where my second great-grandmother, Caroline Mock, is from. And her traveling companions, the Pewsakers and the Tenoples and a few other things. And if you speak German and I'm butchering them, I'm so sorry. But that's why I need to go travel to Gillersheim. And I want to go, and I want to use like Legacy Tree genealogists. Yeah, we promote a lot of people here. See, we're not stingy. I'm like, type in their address. So I would hire Legacy Tree genealogists to go to the church and get me all of the Tenoples and Mocks and the Pewsakers and whatever, and get all the church records, and then also see if they could find like the houses my ancestors may have lived in or did live in, and the cemeteries, to be like boots on the ground, so that when I land, they're handing me records and they're taking me to places where my Mock, Pewsaker, and so on ancestors are from. I think that would be really great.
Yeah.
But I might be able to win a trip there.
Okay.
So Roots Tech.
I'll.
So Roots Tech has a video competition going on. We have until February to get our videos filmed to tell us how we connect to the past, and then Roots Tech will pick a winner, and the grand prize winner can go to their homeland. So Gillersheim. I gotta make a video.
Stacy says she wants to go to Florida, and she's going to take several DNA kits with her to get some family members there all tested.
Nice.
And Cosmic Slice wants to go to Kettleburg and Muirfield in England.
Ooh.
I'm not sure where Kettleburg or Muirfield are in England.
Yeah.
Let us know what county those are in.
Is that near Cornwall? Because if it's near Cornwall, I'll go.
The only place that she knows in England is Cornwall.
Uh-huh. Poldark, baby. Oh, yeah. I go, but see, you have ancestors there. See, it would be a twofer. We could go for genealogy in St. Kevin, and then we can go over to the other part of Cornwall and see
all of Poldark, they have not mentioned St. Kevin once.
I know, because it's on the other side of Cornwall.
And there's no tin mining there.
Whatever. Okay, so this is the time. Think of the brick walls that you have, or the genealogy mysteries you have, and type them in below. I want to see what kind of brick walls you guys are stuck on. So what about you, Andy? Where's your brick wall, or do you have one?
Well, right now I'm trying. So we used DNA, found out who my grandfather's great grandfather was, and so we know where he came to the U.S. and we know where he was from in England. So right now, I'm trying to figure out which of the many James Garnetts from England. One of the problems with England is they were not very creative in their names. And so unless you have one of the very few creative names, then you're stuck with these really super common names that there's a dozen people in the town that had the exact same name, and there's probably 2 or 3 cousins or, friends of the person that have the same name as them, and it's a little frustrating. So that would be one thing to try to figure out.
Yeah. I bet Alessandra had to leave because it was dinner time, but I wonder if that's the same problem wherever you go, eventually the names just kind of get too common and repetitive. But anyway, so we got some people who would like to we should just go do a Family History Fanatics UK trip. That would be great.
Well, if we could apply to the Roots Tech 2019 in London and.
The only reason, I'm not against Roots Tech London, but those crowds, they're intense people. The only way I would go is if they had Eleanor Tomlinson and Aidan Turner as their keynotes. Yeah, I'm all about the pole dart, can you tell? And he likes Demelza, and I think she rocks, so, whatever. So here's my mystery. So Andy did a fantastic job of busting through the mystery of who my grandmother's biological father is. And we have a video on that. He did a whole live stream on that. It was really awesome. And so now I want to know about my Townley ancestors from Cincinnati, Ohio. So I have a death record, an interment record that was that says John Townley died, whatever, and his dad's name is Effingham Townley. And I wrote a blog post about this, but I would like to see. So there's a family. There's a lot of Effingham Townleys from New Jersey, and I've kind of narrowed it down to one possible cluster. I would love to see if that cluster and my cluster match. But I would have to, I think he might be outside of the 6th generation where DNA can help. So I would like Genealogy Center to help me with my Townleys from Cincinnati, Ohio. So if anybody knows about Townleys from Cincinnati, Ohio, or Townleys from Elizabethtown, New Jersey.
So we got lots of brick walls. Everybody's got plenty of brick walls here.
I love it. See, so I knew you guys would be crazy.
Stacy's got a 3rd great-grandfather, who the only records I have of him are some birth records, but not all of the name variety, and a marriage announcement in a newspaper.
Okay.
My nose is just itching. I don't know how people that are on TV, they never itch their nose. What's wrong with them?
Well, we know somebody's on TV. We should ask him.
Yeah, I'll see what the secret is. So, Cosmic Slice. Biggest brick wall is my father's grandfather. His name shifted from Davies to Davis. Okay. But I don't know when. It's a slight shift, but it's probably important.
Enough. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know where in England he's from and if he comes and goes between census years. And my guess is Davies and Davis are both probably really common English names. So.
Oh, darn. Oh, you poor thing.
Peggy says my great-grandmother from Ireland has a very common name, Bridget Cusack. In America, it's not common, but yes, Bridget is really common in Ireland, and Cusack is as well.
Oh.
So, yeah. Trying to find the parents' family of my 4th great-grandfather. Most likely Lancashire, hence wanting my 2nd great-aunt tested. So there's some reasoning behind her DNA testing.
Oh, I did that wrong.
What have you done?
I was trying to get the little commenty thing with us talking right there. See, this is why he does it.
Are you trying to get that?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
She turned off the camera.
Oops.
I had to help her turn the camera back on.
Sorry. I try. Okay,
So let's see what other ones. Lily's great-grandfather was born in 1795 in Mobile, Alabama. Cannot locate his parents. Heard he was a sailor.
Oh. Nice.
That might be common for Mobile at that time. There probably wasn't much in Mobile in 1795. Trying to find a William Davies or Davis in southern England or Wales is like trying to find a needle in a pile of needles.
It didn't even stand out from a haystack.
I did. So my family that's from St. Kevin, I actually went through the censuses of the 1800s for this little town of St. Kevin, and the parish. In the census, it's about 2,500 people. It varies from about 1,800 in the earliest census to about 2,500 people in the latest censuses. And it was interesting because, we were only talking 2,500 people, but at one point there were, I'm trying to remember, something like 20 William Williams.
But no middle names.
With no middle names. William Williams.
Oh, bother.
It's like, when you think about that, that's just one name. William Williams. That is 1% of the population of this town. That doesn't include all the Richard Williams and the Richard Richards and the Robert Roberts and what was the other? They just were not very creative on John Johns. They were not creative on their naming.
No.
Not at all. And like, Elizabeth and Mary and Anne and Sarah and I feel for them. We've got a lot more variety. It's great that in the United States we blended all these cultures together so we could get names like Bridget and stuff, so that we're not all named Elizabeth and Mary and John and Richard.
Yeah, but let's not do the A, B, C, D, E, F, G like what Bridget did.
Okay.
It's a little too much variety.
I also have, Stacy, I also have a fourth great grandmother where I have no information of her before she married in 1842. Mm-hmm. So she's born in Pennsylvania, and there's just not a lot of records online yet.
No. Sadly. Okay. It's present time. Who wants a present?
Okay, there we go. I had to click it to get it to go. So, this is...
Keen wants to know how much money we're going to spend for Christmas. I spent $25 on the one I'm giving gifts to.
Woohoo! Okay, so everybody wants a present. This one's free for you. Let me post some links here. You can talk while I'm posting links.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so Andy is, should I tell the story just slightly?
Sure.
So he's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but he has been on fire for about 2 weeks because, so he met in person Dana Leeds at the Texas State Genealogy Conference, and he's going to talk about her in a little bit. And they were totally geeking out about DNA. Like, they started talking and I had to leave the conversation because it was beyond me. And then also Kitty Cooper was part of the summer GNA conference. And so you guys have been like kind of colleagues. I wouldn't say best buds, but colleagues. Anyway, so Andy stumbled upon an idea and he had to have a phone call. And this boy, he was like, I'm going to have a consult. I'm going to talk to these people. And now I'm going to let him take over.
All right. So, yes. Anyway. Back at the Texas State Genealogy Conference, let me switch this screen over.
Oh, that's the part.
I was talking with Dana, and Dana was telling me about this website so she has this method of cluster matching that she developed, and she was telling me about this website that does something similar and was wanting my advice on some different things. And so, we were talking about that and talking about lots of other things with DNA. And my intention when I went home from that conference was to go to this website to check it out. And I completely forgot what it was. I couldn't remember what the name of this website was. I didn't even think to email her. But up on the board there is Dana's website. Let me just post that link here for you. If you ever want to learn about her color clustering, or some people call it the Leeds method because it's named after her, then her website's got several blog posts that can go through that for you. Well, I got to move this so I can make sure that, yes. So, 2 weeks ago, December 3rd, or 4th to be exact, I woke up and I was reading over some blogs and I saw this one from Kitty Cooper. And let me post her blog on there, yeah. And
so if they get a spike to their viewership, it's all from us. And it's all you.
So anyway, as I was reading it, I was like, oh, this sounds an awful lot like what Dana was telling me about. And so I emailed Dana, or texted her that morning, says, hey, is this what's the name of the website you were telling me about? And she's like, it's called Genetic Affairs. Did you hear Kitty talking about it on her blog? Or or Kitty was talking about it on her blog? I'm like, yeah, that's how I heard about it. So
like I said, they're geeking out.
Kitty on her blog goes through how to use this tool that Genetic Affairs has come up with, which is really neat. And I'll just show you a quick thing. So here's the Genetic Affairs website. Now, this isn't the present, by the way. I'm not just giving you a bunch of websites. That's not... I got to stretch my back. That's not the present. But what is cool is, let's see if this video graphic will work. You see how... What they do is they go in and pull your information from Ancestry or, I think, Family Tree DNA. and they look at your matches, and basically make this map of your matches, and then cluster them all together in one great big book. Why'd you take your glasses off?
Because I keep pushing them up.
And so while I was watching this little animation, it dawned on me something that I'd been trying to do with some of the clustering that I do on GEDmatch. And so that's what I'm going to give to you today. And I'll show you a little bit how it works. But in GEDmatch.
Wait, why don't you tell them what you like and don't like about that other one first?
Okay.
Because they're not going to understand why it's a great gift if you don't go over that.
So let me tell you about, first off, Dana Leeds, her method is great because it's fast. Anybody can do it, and you can do it on any one of your websites because all you need to do is be able to have the matches that match any of your matches. That's it. You just have to be able to see, hey, who do we share DNA with?
So what websites do that? That would be MyHeritage.
All of them.
Oh, you can see your... Oh, that's right. Never mind. Sorry.
So then Genetic Affairs, they go, a step further as far as helping to organize all of this, and they allow you to, put different levels of matches in there. But, a couple things with this is right now I think they just have it for, 23andMe, Family Tree DNA, and Ancestry DNA. So it doesn't work with MyHeritage and doesn't work with GEDmatch. The other thing, though, is from everything that I understand right now, in order for you to get the benefit out of this, you have to provide them your username and password, which some people may not be very comfortable with. Now, with Ancestry, there's a workaround where you set up a dummy account and then you make yourself a viewer of your own DNA from that dummy account, and then you give that dummy account username and password to Genetic Affairs. But I can understand, why some people may not want to give away their passwords for some of their other accounts.
So is it giving it away or are you using it as a login?
Well, you have to provide it to them to use it as a login.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Now, they'll go through and tell you that, yeah, this is kept on a secure server somewhere else, but you're still giving your username and password through their portal to them.
Okay.
So, to GEDmatch. And this is what I'm going to show you. I'm basically going to show you, you can do this same thing, only better.
For free and no giveaway of your privacy, yes?
Yeah, without giving up any of your passwords.
Okay.
On GEDmatch.
Okay. So
Now,
stay with us.
So stay with us here. I know the tension is just building.
Yeah.
So on GEDmatch, if you go to the multiple kit analysis, and you can do this either from the main menu, or you can actually just select a bunch of kits on your matches, and it'll go over here. And what you want to do is you want to create a matrix, and you want to create an autosomal matrix.
Oh, that's what A means?
That's what a matrix is.
Okay.
And that will look something like this. And you can see they have their nice pretty colors. They take how much DNA that you share with it. And this is where you can start to see how these are going to be different. So with Ancestry, you know how much DNA you share with your match. But you don't know how much DNA your match shares with the other matches. With GEDmatch, it tells you how much DNA your matches share with those other matches. So that's why you can actually do some more things with this. Now, this is just an example of about 20 kits, and I usually select up to 100 kits. And here's why. You're gonna love this. I'm just so excited here. All right, so those two links that I put on there, the Excel sheet and the Google sheet, will link to files that look like this. And did I put that Google sheet right? Because it's not underlined. I forgot the HTTPS. Let me put that in. There's the Google Sheets one again.
No, I think it's... Oh, there it goes. Okay.
So, what this is I got a first page of instructions that tell you roughly how to do that. And then there's the template page. And this is the page that you're going to work with. So you're going to copy your information to here, and it's going to format it for you automatically when you do that. just made it big for some reason. And what I have is I have a sample page of some sample data if you just want to play around with. And then I have an example, of a completed. And you can see, hey, that's starting to look pretty cool. It is. It is. So let me go, and I created a copy of this sample page that I just called Playground. And let me go over this with you. Now, this is, I'm going to hide these first 4 rows just to see a little bit more. This is all anonymized. Don't worry about trying to go and look up any of these kit numbers in here because it's not going to find anything. Now, on your screen, you probably can't see it. Let me zoom in. But each one of these cells has the amount of DNA, and it's color-coded based on that amount of DNA. And Stacy, yeah, I actually am developing a workshop for this. So this is like the pre-workshop. This is what I just did in the last
2 weeks.
2 weeks of slapping this all together.
Okay.
So be expecting a workshop. So anyway, the nice thing about this now is this is just raw based on how you entered the information. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here, and it's a little bit tricky trying to figure out, okay, well, how are all these different people related? Well, then what we can do is we can start to organize it. Now, what the Genetic Affairs does is it organizes it automatically, but all they have is just a color to go on, and so it can just come up with these big groups. What we can do is we can organize it not just by these groups, but also by how closely related they are. So for instance, I'm just going to drag these green bars until I start to have things all connected together. The key is I want to keep this gray line down the middle all the time. So whenever I move a row, I want to move the corresponding column also. And I can move columns first and then rows. But now you can start to see as I'm moving these.
So you're moving the green stuff over. So why, okay.
Right now, yeah, I'm moving this green stuff over.
So why didn't you get live before sky?
I could.
Oh, okay.
That's the great thing about it is you can arrange these however you want.
Oh, okay.
So for instance, I could put sky over here actually and move sky up to get this little blue one out more to the outside.
Oh, okay.
Depending on what you want to see.
Okay.
Okay, and so you're forming little clusters like that. And so for instance here, this actually forms a separate little cluster down here, you can see.
Oh, you didn't move Liv because she's part of the smaller
She's
cluster.
part of this other smaller cluster. Now if we go down, we can see, hey, there's this one down here that belongs all the way up here because it shares all that DNA. And we'd have to go over here to find them.
So it's not automatic, but it's not that difficult to move things if you know how to move.
Yeah, all you're doing is grabbing the column and moving the column over.
Okay.
Okay. So
I know the big question that's coming.
So here's another one, and here is, let me move this down. So I can start to form these little clusters of people, and this is just like those clusters that you saw on the Genetic Affairs. Mm-hmm. Remember, these are your matches because you, or whoever your target person, is represented by this first line that's not moving in this first column. So that's how much you share with each one of those. Everything in the field here is what they share with each other. All right? And so what I've done is usually I try to go through and I find all the green ones and get the green ones together first. And see, this green one doesn't fit anywhere. So it's going to be its own little cluster somewhere. But once I've done the green, well, then I can go through and I can start to get if there are some of the orange in the next one. So for instance, hey, here's this orange that actually lines up with this green here. Now they're going to be more distantly related than what the green ones are. But let me go over to my completed one to give you an idea. So in looking at this, I've gone through and I've highlighted certain boxes. And those boxes basically indicate a family group. Now, how big that family group is, I don't know. because it's all up to you to determine where they fit in. But with the green boxes, you can basically tell what those relationships are. So for instance, these in the 26 to 3,000 range, those are siblings. So here I know that Joe and Eli are siblings. And then I can also look and see, okay, well, what about their parents? Well, they both share Zoe at a parental level, which means Zoe is their mother. So now I know a little bit about the relationship between just these three people right here, Zoe, Joe, and Eli.
Now, how did you know that those numbers are from that CM, the
Yeah.
brain CM chart?
Well, they are, but in particular on the higher numbers, there's only one or two relationships they could be. So for instance, at 3587, it is either a parent or a child, or it is yourself, or it is your twin.
Okay.
That's it. It's not going to be any other relationship. The 2,500, it's actually about 2,400 to 3,000 or so. That is always full siblings.
Okay.
It really extends down to about 2,300, and there's a little bit of tiny overlap with the next group, but there's not much. So for the most part, if you're in that 2,400 to 3,000 range, that's siblings.
Okay.
And then the next trickier group is the one right below that, and that's in the 1,500 to 2,000, 1,500 to 2,200 range, and that would be grandparents, aunts, uncles, and half siblings. So there's a few different things to try to figure out from there. But you can see that these groups start to go together, and there's some different things we can see from it. So for instance, right here we have this person, Amy, and Amy is a part of this group on top and a part of this group on the bottom. But she's the only one really that's a part of that group other than these ones that don't share a lot of DNA. What that tells me is one of these groups is on Amy's mom's side and one group is on Amy's dad's side. So I'm seeing a little bit about family relationships. Even within this super big group, we can see we have the same thing going on.
Can you see it?
With these two, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Let me zoom in to this one here. Let me hide that. So you can see, hey, this Roy person, he's got a parental family on one side and another parental family on the other side. So a mom's side and a dad's side, or the mom's side down here and the dad's side right here. And the nice thing about clustering is once you figure out how a couple of the people in here are related to you, so for instance, you may find that, hey, this group right here actually represents people on your maternal grandfather's side. Well, that means everybody in that group is on your maternal grandfather's side. So you've eliminated how those people could be related in another way to you by doing this. And so that's why Dana's method of clustering is really useful, is she was doing it with second and third cousins, which is usually going to show, your grandparents if you have people from each one of those grandparents' sets. The nice thing with this type of clustering is we have control over rearranging things. We want to rearrange things. And you can see as we go down this line, there's several different groups along here, some of which have a little bit of overlap, a lot of which don't. Some of the groups are big, some of the groups are just really small.
And so the green, you weren't all trying to get up at the top because they go across little family clusters. They're matching within, not necessarily up at the top.
Yeah, well, these ones are matching within, but they also don't have anything else really that's matching them, as you can see. Okay?
Okay,
and
question.
One last thing here. So the other nice thing about this, so this is just my first 100 matches. As you get this all arranged, then you come down to this very end, and we can see that, hey, all these people right here, they really don't have any other significant match with any of my other matches. So what that tells me is I don't need to look at them at all for right now, because there's nothing else to match with to help find anything. So I could actually eliminate these, and I could go back and choose my next set of matches to help build up some of these other clusters of finding more people that are all interrelated. So what's your question, Devin?
How do you get your information in there? From GEDmatch.
Oh, from GEDmatch.
To there.
Watch this. Watch this.
I want to watch this.
Okay, so in GEDmatch here, I create this matrix table.
Mm-hmm. That's that A matrix, and you click the A matrix and you select your people, and then it makes this.
Yes.
And then it makes.
And then I go Control A to select everything on the page.
Okay.
Control C, and these instructions are in those spreadsheets.
I know, but it helps to have a visual.
So I go Control C to copy it. I come over to my template. I put myself in the A1, and I do Control Shift V, and it all copies and it all color codes it.
Now that's slick.
You like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't have to do any of that work. You just have to copy and paste.
Select, copy, paste.
And then you can move everything around.
Well, let me give it a try.
Okay, you give it a try.
I know, right? Okay, but I don't do these ones, right? I just focus on. Wait, it's already kind of done, isn't it?
That one is. So let's go. So go over here to the playground.
Okay.
Let me remove this off of it. Go over to the playground, and you try to move around some columns.
Okay. You guys, if you have questions, go ahead and throw them in chat. I'm going to practice for a little bit.
So here, you got all these orange ones right over here.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you try to move all those together?
Okay. So does that move it together?
That moves that. Yep, and see how you're making sure that you get the gray line through the middle.
But does this go here? Because they're on the same row? They are,
yep.
Okay, ask questions, ask questions. This is your Halloween gift. This is your Christmas gift, so you want to be asking your questions because he's got all the links there for you. Okay.
Now scroll down and see if there's any. See, there's
okay.
Another person down there.
They're all on these columns here, not these ones over here.
Right.
Can you guys see? Okay. All right, Stacy, what questions do you have?
She wants this to be a workshop.
I know. But what questions? Or did you go and start playing? Or wait, does Stacy have the kids and sometimes she has to go run off with her kids? See, I pay attention. Oh, here's a green. Right?
Yeah, but that one didn't go with anything. You see how it didn't match up with anything?
It has its lonely. I can drop it anywhere, right?
You can drop it anywhere. It's just a lonely green.
Lonely green. But I messed up the triangle.
That's okay. You can go back to it later.
Oh, I can undo. Right? Is that where they were?
That's where it was.
All right. Okay, so what questions do you guys have if you're still there?
Now, one of the things on the instructions, I go through and I tell you what some of the things mean as far as the shapes that you're seeing. But I'm still working out how to do some different things. And this is where my class in January on tree building is going to come in very handy, because what you're doing with tree building is you're basically taking one of these clusters and you're building out a family tree of that cluster.
Okay.
See, it's easy.
It is easy. And nobody's talking.
Devin's never used it before, and
I've never seen this before. I think I'm doing it right. I don't know.
You're doing it just fine.
Wow. But it's looking kind of funky. You see how it's going like that? Is that okay?
And that's okay, because you can adjust it later.
Were who was that? Eden and the, okay.
You can always make adjustments. That's the nice thing about this is, since it's not automatic. Cosmic Slice says, we're all watching, downloading, and bookmarking.
Okay. Have fun.
Is you can change around how these clusters are looking to show different things.
Oh, what do you mean?
All right. So, for instance, let's say that we're actually focused on these people on these two columns, Koa and Max. Well, in that case, we want to get the closest ones to Koa and Max together. So I could just move these around, so that, hey, these people are closest to it. And as long as I have that gray line through the middle, then I have met everything that needs to occur.
Waltzes.
Waltz is working with mine. I like this. Excellent. Good.
There you go.
So you see how I've just moved this around because I was focused on something else. Mm-hmm. Now again, maybe I'm focused on another group. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I thought I had a overlapped one here. Yeah, so here's one. So here's was two little groups that overlapped, but then I still had some other people that were just outside of it. So how would you want to do this? Well, it depends. Like, for instance, I may want to actually bring these ones over here for this. Or I may want to form a different group elsewhere. I may want to actually bring all of my green ones. Here's a green one. Over here and see how they fit in with some of these others. In this case, yeah, nothing fits in really. But this is where also these small amounts actually could matter. So for instance, down here, this one person, he doesn't fit in real well, Iker. He doesn't fit in real well with anybody. But let's see if I can get him in. If I move him over there, I can see, hey, he's actually got a little bit of overlap with this cluster down here. But I can move him over further and see that, you know what, he's also got some overlap with this cluster. And he's even got some overlap with this solitary cluster. So it's really interesting how you can move some people around and be able to see, okay, what things work better, so that you're not just focused on, oh, this person goes with, person A goes with person B and C. Well, sometimes person A mainly goes with B and C, but sometimes person A goes with person D or person L.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm guessing then now when I have this cluster, when I'm talking to these green people up here, if I don't know who they are, I can just start asking them, well, you're related to so-and-so, and I'm starting to look like their trees as they expand out to try to figure out how it's all related.
Exactly.
So this tells me, I know that these guys are all interrelated. Where is the linchpin that puts us together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you just gave them a gift. They stopped talking to you.
They did. And so, like I said, I'm still working out some of the mechanics of everything, of what some things mean. But you guys have a copy of this now. And if you want to share this, feel free to share this. If you need to put a link to the video so that you can explain it, I don't mind that at all.
But do you give them questions? You're like, I don't understand.
Yeah, if you have questions on it, then please give me questions, because I'm interested to see how this can be developed better to be more useful to you, as far as what principles need to be followed, what best practices, what things worked well to help you maybe solve some different problems. Now, I mentioned that GEDmatch, because you're given your match data, it gives you some more information as far as being able to rearrange things within those clusters. With MyHeritage and 23andMe, you can get a lot of that data, but it has to be done one by one. Mm-hmm. So you basically have to go and look at each one of your shared matches, and then go through that shared match list to get both your DNA data and their DNA data for each one of those. So I wouldn't recommend that. But if you're bored, you can always do that. Like I said, with GEDmatch, since they have this matrix making ability, you can go and select 100 people, and bam, you have a matrix to work with in a couple of minutes.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, since you're all off playing with his gift to you, we're going to say we wish you a Merry Christmas. If you celebrated Hanukkah, happy belated Hanukkah. And if you celebrate anything else, happy holidays, or if you're on the south side of the world, happy summer. We won't have another broadcast in 2 weeks. Did we say no because it was Christmas?
No, we will.
Oh, we'll probably have some kind of broadcast.
Look,
I have no idea what we're talking about. Watch. I'm watching.
Haha, see?
Okay, so we're going to have an after Christmas broadcast. I have no idea what the topic will be. We'll figure it out.
It says the 2018 genealogy recap.
Oh, it does. I can't read. You know what, guys? This whole week I have been trying to get my level 1 genealogy report submitted or prepared to submit for accredited genealogy through iCapGen. That's a whole lot of acronyms, and so I don't know which end is up. So I'm hoping to get that baby reviewed and sent off so I can just focus on making videos.
And we convinced Cosmic Slice he's ordering the DNA kits now.
All right, good job. So you get it, spit, and then you gotta tell us. Remember, we told you the ethnicity part, it's not worth a hill of beans. Everything else is about cousin matches and the tools to find your cousin.
Yeah, and play with this and email me, any suggestions for it. I'd be more than happy to take those suggestions. And if you come up with some cool way of doing things, we can let you take full credit for it, and we'll call it the Marciella method or the Chris Wright method or whatever we want to call it.
Or the Watts, Comet, Slice, Marciella, Stacy, Coates, Mark Fig method.
Yeah.
Or how about just the Family History Fanatics fans method?
It would be the fan club method.
Yeah. Oh, that's copywritten with Elizabeth Schoen.
Oh, okay. We can't do the fan club. Sorry.
Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.
All right. Merry Christmas. Now I got to figure out how to turn it off. Oh, yeah, that's right.